Good morning, Sports and Coffee. This is Parallax Football Complete. My 1973 Oakland Raiders Kenny Stabler replay. This is game number 9. The Raiders have had a good turnaround since Kenny Stabler became the starter. At 1-2, in the midst of a 5-game road trip, or say 5-game road trip, but 5 straight road games in a row. Kenny Stabler becomes the starter, and he is rattled off 5 straight victories. We are 6-2. However, we host the second toughest challenger we're going to see this year, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They come in here 7-1. Terry Bradshaw with a start. Franco Harris, Preston Pearson at running back with Frankie Fuqua. They've got Shanklin and Lewis at wide receiver, and McMacken at tight end. Jarella is their place kicker. Edwards and Pearson are their kick return men, and of course Walden doing the punting job. This team was about to embark on one of the best runs in football history, where they will go ahead and win back-to-back Super Bowls in 74-75 and again in 78-79. Pittsburgh will win 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. However, this is not yet that team. But holy cow, they match the Raiders. They are a AAA defense. We are also a AAA defense. So this will be the Raiders' toughest challenge defensively we've seen yet. Miami, I have yet to play physically. Miami, again, I did not play that game. Stabler wasn't the starter in that game. So I'm not certain how Miami rates out. But Miami may be the other big defensive team. But either way, this is a huge challenge for us. This team has White, Greenwood, Holmes, Green, Andrew, Russell, Ham, Toes, Edwards, Blunt, Wagner. Unbelievable. This defense was already there. It was already intact before they started. You've got Mijo, Green, White, Greenwood, and Holmes. I think all 4 are in the Hall of Fame. Well, I'm not certain. Holmes may not be in the Hall of Fame, but then you've got Andy Russell, Jack Ham. It's just unbelievable. All right, but the Raiders, in real life, Pittsburgh was 7-1 when they came in here, and the Raiders were 5-2-1, and they lost. The Raiders actually lost that game 17-9. So this is going to be interesting. Now, when I do the match up their offense against our defense, and vice versa, we are the better team. We both pass on the D charts. We both complete passes on the F charts. We have a point of attack of 0. They have a point of attack of -1. So we have the actual advantage running the football. Not a surprise. Again, the Raiders had 3 Hall of Famers on this offensive line. We run on the C chart. They run on the D chart. We punt with Ray Guy, Hall of Famer, 45-yard net. They punt with Walden against our return man, a 34 net. Our kick returners go for 27 on average, plus a chance to take it to the house. Their kick returners average 22. Our place kicker's a B. Their place kicker's a B. So on paper, again, the Raiders have the advantage running the ball. 0 C, they are -1 D, and our special teams superior to our opponent. So Oakland, I would not be surprised. Now again, in real life, this was a 17-9 game, and Darryl LaMonica played in that game and did throw a touchdown in the 4th quarter. So Darryl LaMonica, for some reason, was in that game late. I don't know if Stabler had benched or if he'd gotten hurt by the Steelers' defense. I don't know. I don't care. We're assuming Stabler's the starting man here. Both Knoll and Madden run the ball on the D6 1-4, so I'll roll the automated offense and defense for the game. So you'll get to see how that works. And then, of course, the D66 roll for the passing and running charts. May the best team 10. Oakland won the toss and decided to take the ball, so we're going to be bringing it out to the 27. I can try to return this for a touchdown. And against this vaunted Steelers team, we're going to try that. A 66. We will return this for a touchdown with Davis. Oh my God, he bobbles the ball, almost fumbles the kick return. Fortunately, no go. We got the ball at the 27. Raiders first down at the 27. And here we go. May the best team win. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders in the 70s was one hell of a rivalry. This got really ugly, folks, between the Raiders and the Steelers. It led to a defamation lawsuit. Al Davis and Jack Tatum brought a defamation lawsuit against Chuck Noll, the coach of the Steelers during this era, because he called Tatum, I think he referred to him as a criminal or something, because he broke a receiver's neck, and he liked to light up Lynn Swann. And so anyway, these two teams, there was no love lost. These two teams truly hated each other, and it was glorious, at least in the mythology and legend of NFL history. It's glorious. I was too young to actually know what the hell was going on. I wasn't old enough to really know what was going on in football until the 80s. But I've had the joy of the history and the NFL films and the research to read and go back and learn so much about these rivalries and games. But may the best team win, and John Madden and the Raiders take the field. And here we go. The Raiders are going to actually open up with a pass versus a pass defense. 62. We're passing on the D chart, so they decide to take a shot. 62 is going to be incomplete. So Stabler, first play from scrimmage, takes a shot, nothing there. Raiders are going to pass again. Stabler, play action versus run. They expect us to hand it off now to try to get some of that yardage back. We don't do it. 55 is going to be complete, and we are completing on the F chart. It's a completion. Oh, for 12. Nope, it's a drop. So that will be, somebody will drop that ball. Who dropped that ball for us? Moore. Our tight end Moore, who had a brilliant game yesterday against the Giants last week. 3rd down and 10, and so far the Steelers defense are stingy. The Raiders will throw for a 3rd straight time versus pass defense. 55 is complete, and the completion for 54 is going to be 8 yards plus 1, 9 yards. Can you believe it, though? It is 4th and 1. The Raiders complete a 9-yard pass to Moore. So Moore makes up for his drops. And Moore caught that ball plus this one. We'd have a first. We're going to have to punt. And the Raiders, against this steel curtain defense, will get a 45-yard punt. 10, 20, 30, 45. They're pinned at the 19. And here we go. The Steelers go to work. And the Steelers do not, remember, this is this is static special teams. You only roll for a chance to return it for a touchdown. The Steelers do not have a return team touchdown. So again, the Raiders have the advantage in running and special teams. Passing are identical between these two. And they also coach identically. So let's see what Noll does. Noll's going to hand it off. And the Raiders are expecting Bradshaw to take a shot. So it's going to be a run. So again, they use the point of it. They're using the running chart for Chuck Noll and company, D. So they're running on the D chart. I rolled a 55. 55 is going to be 5 minus 1 point of attack. They're going to get 4 yards. 2nd and 6. But that's a good run for Franco. Okay, they're going to pass versus pass, so it's going to be equal. Pass versus pass is going to lower the numbers, so they're passing on the F chart thanks to that defensive call. So F chart's 44 is going to be complete, though. He's going to swing it out to Franco Harris. Complete on the F charts for 14, 2 yards. 1-2. So Franco has a run and a catch, 3rd down and 4. And it's going to be run versus pass. Raiders in the wrong category. They're going to get a bump up to C. 62. So Franco Harris gets the carry for 4. Minus 1 point of attack. 3. And just like the Raiders, it's 4th and 1. They're going to have to punt. The difference is the Raiders have a huge advantage. 34 net, 10, 20, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Raiders filled at 39. So right there, the Raiders, if this continues, the Raiders will gain 11 yards in every possession. So this is definitely an advantage for the Raiders special team. So people will ask, why do I use static for most of my football games? Because it's the best way to see how special teams and field position actually affect teams over the course of a game or a season. When you roll randomly, you don't always see, as a game wears on, you don't always see a big part of pro football and how that field position starts to play a factor in a team's success over the game or over the season. When you're rolling randomly, you just don't see it as easily as when you use the static numbers. And it really does clue you in to why punting and field position was such a big deal in the sport of football. That's, again, for those who know. For those who don't, well, then you're probably young and you probably have been rooked by video games and analytics overload. Here we go. The Raiders are going to run versus balance. So the Raiders won't have a negative effect on the run. They're in a balanced defense. Raiders running on the C chart. 46. They're going to get 7 with a point of attack modifier 0. So 7 yards. 5, 6, 7. 2nd and 3. And that's what we want to see. Marv Hubbard pound the rock against the Steelers. We're going to run again versus balance, but this time not as good. So we're looking at the C chart. 14. 1 yard for the Raiders. No point of attack adjustment. 3rd down and 2. Come on, Raiders. What are we going to do? We're going to pound it again versus balanced again. So they're not committing to the run, but they're not going to get caught with their pants down. 45. The Raiders are going to pound the rock for 4 and a 1st down up to the 50. And slowly but surely, the Raiders, John Madden has told Stabler, pound the rock this drive. Yep, we're going to run versus pass. So Steelers getting impatient, trying to guesstimate what we're going to do. We pound the rock. Again, with Davis this time, 51. They're in the wrong defense, so we're actually to B. 51 is 2 yards. 1, 2, down to the 48. 2nd down and 8. Raiders, 4 straight runs. Ah, there it is. Pass versus balance. So they're not going to commit to the pass. We're in the D charts. 53. 53 is complete on the edge, literally to the flat. This is going to be Smith. And our completion to Smith for 6-2, that's going to be 6 plus 1, 7 yards, 5, 6, 7. 3rd and 1. Stabler with a perfect little swing pass out to Smith. 3rd and 1. Pass versus pass. F charts 22 is going to be bad for us. This should be incomplete, but it might be a sack. F charts 22 is incomplete, thank God. 4th down and 1. We are at the 41 plus 7, 48-yard kick. We could kick this. And it's a 50% chance for Blanda to give us the lead. You know what? We're at home. We're going to kick this. 1-3. We're going to take a 3-point lead. Damn it. Blanda misses a 48-yarder. That's about right, though. Well, Blanda was clutch. Field goal attempt. No good. And, oh, the Steelers take over at the 48. So that's actually benefits them. Man, Steelers, here we go. Late in the 1st quarter, what do? They're going to pound the rock versus pass. Damn, so they get to go on the bonus run chart because we're on the wrong defense. So they're going to run versus pass, so they're going to get a bonus. So they come up from the D chart to the C chart. 65, they pound the rock for 6, minus 1 point of attack, they get 5. So our defensive line is winning the point. Our front 7 is winning the point of attack. Oh, they're going to fumble or throw an interception. Pass versus base, we're going to pick this off. So Stabler drops back on the D charts, and it's a coverage interception. So Bradshaw throws an interception. Coverage interception. Who picks this off? 3 picks this off. That's going to be Wilson for the Raiders. And the Raiders use our coverage. We are a remarkable coverage of A. And we want to roll low. That'll flip the field totally. We want to roll a 1. Nope, 3. Minus 10, though. So we're going to pick this off and return it backwards. 10 yards. Again, that's the net. So we could have picked it off 40 yards downfield and returned it 50. We don't care. We're only looking for the net change in the line of scrimmage. Bradshaw picked off by Wilson. The Raiders now sitting pretty at the 43. And again, this game was won in real life. 7-1 Pittsburgh beat a 5-2-1 Oakland team, 17-9. Final drive of the 1st quarter, and it's a 0-0 dogfight between 2 AAA defenses. And you should know that. These 2 teams were nasty. Steelers were consistently good on defense for an entire decade. The Raiders ebbed and flowed a little bit, which was kind of the history of the Raiders. They had nasty, opportunistic defense with great coverage, but the Raiders could have swings in the quality of their defense. Their offense was always top-notch during the Stabler era. Beyond top-notch, one of the best in football, if not the best. All right, Raiders, run versus balanced, 24. So we're looking at the C chart for the Raiders running game. So again, 24, Raiders run the ball. It's going to be 2. Point of attack 0, so 2 yards, 1, 2. So Hubbard down to the 41. Raiders are at least in field goal range. It's going to be pass versus pass. Stabler, trying to be sneaky, is going to 15 throw a... On the D charts, 15 is incomplete. Third down, Stabler takes a shot down the field to Bolitnikoff. Nobody home. It's going to be pass versus run. Wow, the Steelers expect the Raiders to change the hash mark for Blanda's kick and get caught with their pants down, but they know better. Stabler doesn't have a great chance against this coverage unit. 24, they're in the wrong defense, so we're looking at the C chart. 24 is complete, literally on the sideline to Bolitnikoff. And Bolitnikoff now goes for 64. Come on, baby, Bolitnikoff. That's going to be a catch for 10 plus 1, 11 yards and a first down. 10-11, the Raiders down to the 30. And Stabler finds Bolitnikoff on a quick out at the sticks. Thank God the Steelers expected us to set up thought we might run to set up a better place kick spot. We caught him. Pass versus balanced. Raiders on the D charts. Do we complete this? 51. I don't think so. 51 is incomplete. So Stabler takes a shot in the middle of the field to Sinai. Run versus balance. Raiders 52 on the C chart. Running the ball. Raiders C chart 52 is going to be 3 yards for the Raiders. 1, 2, 3. Marv Hubbard off the left side. 3rd and 7. It's going to be a run. The Raiders are setting up for the kick this time. Run versus pass. Steelers are going to play it safe and cover. Raiders on the B chart because they're in the wrong defense. 31. It's going to be a carry for nothing. Point of attack adjustment, nothing. 4th down. Raiders get hammered as Andy Russell comes up and says, no, you ain't going to get away with that. And we are going to be kicking from the 27-yard line. Remember, this is yard line. Don't worry about the adding the... So it's set for a line of scrimmage as opposed to adding +7 or +17. Don't worry about it. Whatever era you're playing, you'll automatically add it to your box score number. But all that matters is where you're at in line of scrimmage. 27. Blanda will make this if I don't roll a 6. No 6. 1. Hallelujah. Blanda's going to give us a first quarter lead with a 34-yard field goal. Raiders 3. Steelers 0. Steelers 0. Raiders 3. Second quarter about to get underway. Steelers return this out to the 22. Now the Steelers cannot return it for a touchdown, so they can also not fumble it, right? You're not punished. If you're not an explosive kick return team and you have a shot at taking it back to the house, you also don't have to suffer a random fumble, right? So that's the good thing about not having a kick return. And you also have the choice. You can choose not to try to return it for a touchdown, which means you're telling your kick or punt returner play it safe so they won't fumble. All right, they're after the 22. Terry Bradshaw throws an interception, and it leads to the Raiders. Points off turnover. Blanda hits a 34-yard field goal as the gun sounds to end the first quarter. Steelers go to work, and the Raiders are up. And the Raiders, again, trying to continue to remain undefeated since Stabler's been named starter. Raiders are on a 5-game win streak. Let's see if they can continue it. It's going to be run versus balance. 26. They're running on the D chart, so we do have the defense to slow down this running game. 26, though, is going to be a run for 4. -1 point of attack for Noel and company. They're going to run this ball for, whoops, I just said it, 24. -1 is 3. 1, 2, 3. So up to the 25 for Franco Harris. It's going to be a run versus run defense. We're looking at the D chart. So they were at the D chart. We got to go down to the F chart now because we're in the right defense. So now you want to adjust the chart down because we got the right defense. 24 is 2 yards, -1 point of attack adjustment for the Raiders front 7 against this offensive line, and they get a yard. It is 3rd and 6. Chuck Noll playing it safe against a pass defense. So it's going to get a bonus. They're going to be running on the C chart, so that's good. And they run well, 6. So C chart, 16 is 2 yards, -1. They had a yard, boom. So that killed them. 4th down and 5, then we'll have to punt. 34 yards, 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 39. The Raiders again in brilliant field position as that defense forces Bradshaw, Harris, Pearson, Fuqua to punt the ball. Stabler and Madden and company go to work. It's going to be run versus run on the F charts because the Raiders, the Raiders run on C, so D chart. 42, Raiders run for 2 yards. 1, 2. So we're going to hand it off to Smith. Smith gets 2. Pass versus pass, 56. That's complete. I know that. It's complete. And the Raiders complete this to Sinai for 25. 25 is going to be a completion for 7 yards. 5, 6, 7. 3rd and 1. Raiders. We're going to run versus run here. I'm going to just call it. It's going to be run versus run. Let's see if the Raiders' strength against the Pittsburgh strength, who wins? 62. Raiders running on the D chart. 6-2 is 4 yards for the Raiders, thanks to that high roll. 4 yards and a first down at the 48 as Marv Hubbard pushes off. They make a hole, and Hubbard is hammered quickly, but he falls forward for 4. It's going to be run versus balanced. 63. So we're running on the C chart. 6-3, 5 yards. Raiders pounded outside with Davis around the corner. It's going to be 41. It's going to be run versus run. Ooh, not good. 11 on D is, 12 on D is 0 yards. 3rd down and 5. We almost fumbled that ball away. 3rd down. Snaps the ball. It's going to be run versus balanced. Again, balanced on the C chart. 14. 1 yard. Down to the 42. 4th down. This would be a 49-yard attempt by Blanda. If I punt it, 45, it'll go into the end zone and be a touchback. You don't get to make a choice on Coffin Corner because it's net-based. So I get the benefit of a big punt net, but I don't get to then hand pick an automatic pinning at the 3 or whatever, right? So in this situation, it's best to give Blanda the chance on we're at the 42-yard line. So I think this is 1-3. Yeah. 50% chance for Blanda. 1-3. Come on, baby. 1, 2, or 3. It's good. Yep. And Blanda's going to make a 49-yard field goal. And it's the Raiders 6, Pittsburgh 0. Pittsburgh returns it out to the 22. And right now, folks, you knew this was going to be a grind. These two AAA defenses are unbelievable. All right, Bradshaw goes to work, hands it off to Franco Harris. Run versus run, 65. Franco on the F chart. So the Raiders, when they get the defense right, they're really pushing. So let's put it this way. When the Raiders are correct, they pass on the F chart, they run on the F chart. That's how much better the Raiders offense. Although the Raiders are a D and a C, Pittsburgh, if the Raiders are right, end up F and F. So that's a big deal. So it's an F, 65. So it's a run for 65. They're going to get 5 minus 1. 4 yards for Franco. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2nd and 6. Terry Bradshaw. Run versus run. Raiders are right on it. 54. Run versus run. 54 is going to be 4 minus 1. 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. 3rd down and 1, 2, 3. 3rd and 3. I think Terry Bradshaw would go ahead and put this ball in the air. On 3rd and 3, the Raiders will be in let's roll for the Raiders. Odd, they're in the right defense. The Raiders are in the right defense. So pass versus pass F, because the Raiders might go balanced here, expecting them to just punt the ball. So they're looking at the D charts on this pass. Bradshaw drops back. 36 is complete. Down the field, into the middle of the field. So that means this would be Shanklin. 46, going to be a nice catch. 4 and 6 is going to be a catch for 11 plus 1, 12 yards. 10, 11, 12, up to the 41. There they are. Pittsburgh in their best field position of the day. Bradshaw on 3rd and 3 finds Shanklin at an 11-yard strike. Run versus run. The Raiders will not give them any space carrying the rock. They're going to hammer Fuqua and company. So Fuqua, 43, is going to run this ball for 1 yard. As he is hammered, trying to get to the outside. Raider linebackers get the job done. 66, they're going to drop back and pass. 53, is this a completion? Pass versus pass. Did Terry Bradshaw complete this on the F charts? 53 is incomplete. Bradshaw on 3rd and 9, or 2nd and 9 can't do it. 3rd and 9, we're going to pass versus pass. Both teams know what's coming here. Pass versus pass. 16 is incomplete. Bradshaw throws it down the field. Nobody home. Pittsburgh will have to punt. 10, 20, 30, 4. At the 24, Raiders filled the ball to 24. We can try to return this for a touchdown. Let's do it. Let's let Atkinson go. And no, he does not return it for a touchdown. Because if we get a touchdown, we can win the game 13-0. So Oakland, late in the second quarter, their final drive of the quarter, the Raiders are going to be going pass versus balance. So pass versus balance, we're on the D charts. 46 is complete. Down the middle of the field to Moore. Our tight end Moore for 51. 51 is 3 yards plus 1, 4 yards. So Moore right in a quick button hook in the middle of the field. Or look-in pass, you might call it. We're going to run versus pass, so the Raiders will be on the B chart thanks to this. 53 is going to be a run for 4 more, baby. 3rd and 2. Raiders will be run versus run. I think both teams are going to go strong here. Hubbard versus the Steelers front 7. Let's see who gets this. 24 on the, for us, would be the D charts against the right defense. 24, all we need are 2 yards. 2-4 is 2 and a first down, baby. Hubbard and the left side of the Raider line win. And the measurement signals, the crowd goes nuts as Stabler and the left side of that line with a perfect timing handoff. Hubbard plows ahead. Okay, here we go. It's going to be run versus balance, 46. We're going to hand it off for 7 more. 5, 6, 7. Clarence Davis gets 7. 2nd and 3. It's going to be run versus pass. Raiders catch them in the wrong defense. Unfortunately, though, I rolled a poor roll. They're in the wrong defense on a run. So we're looking at the run versus pass B charts. 12 is nowhere. 3rd down and 1, 2, 3. 3rd and 3. I'm going to roll for both teams. See if the Raiders stick to the ground. They do. The Raiders will run versus balanced. 22 is a run for 1 yard. Not enough as the Steelers front 7 crowd the line of scrimmage. And Ray Guy and company will have to punt again against this defense. 10, 20, 30, 45. They're pinned. The Raiders are 45. Yep, they're pinned at the 13-yard line on a beautiful punt by Ray Guy. And what will Bradshaw and company do? They're going to run versus pass. Look at this. So the Raiders expect Bradshaw to throw the ball. 31 is nowhere, -1 for their point of attack. They actually run Fuqua for a loss, trying to get to the corner. Pitch out. He gets tripped up, loses a yard. It's going to be run versus pass. They got the Raiders, though, guessing 63. It's going to be a run for 4 yards, minus the 5 minus the 1's 4. 4. It is 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7. It's going to be pass versus pass, no doubt about it. Looking at the F charts for Stabler, 61 is going to be incomplete on the F charts. Stabler, 61 incomplete, 4th down. They will punt to wrap up the half. And the Raiders will try to return this for a touchdown to wrap the half up. 10, 20, 30, 4. From the 50, a 66. Atkinson takes this back to the house. Nope. And that's going to wrap up the quarter. Folks, it is 6-0 at halftime in a dogfight. And you knew it would be a dogfight between two AAA defenses. Bradshaw threw a pick that led to a short field in which Blandon made a 34-yard field goal, made it 3-0 in the first at the end of the first quarter. Then Pittsburgh had to punt. Blanda then midway 49-yard field goal makes it. It's 6-0 Raiders. And then there's an exchange of punt. Steelers coming out of the tunnel after Chuck Noll gives them a pep talk. Tells them, keep doing what you're doing. All we need is one major mistake by the Raiders, and we'll be good. We'll be sitting pretty. So he coaches his team to keep doing what they're doing. 6-0 is no reason to be upset. And they return the kick out to the 22. And now all they need to do is be smart and hope the Raiders are the first team to make a big mistake. And here we go. It's going to be a pass. Well, it's play action bomb for Terry Bradshaw. 16 is going to be incomplete, even though we're in the wrong defense. So they were a D. They get to use the wrong defense, so they go up to a C. 16 is incomplete. So he throws it deep down the sidelines to Lewis. Nobody home. It's going to be run versus pass. So now the Raiders backpedal on this one, and they're going to run on the C charts. And 42, they're going to carry the ball for 2, -1 point of attack, 1 yard for Harris. The Raider defense swarming. 3rd and long. Again, it'll be pass versus pass here. No reason to roll. And Terry Bradshaw completes this. Beautiful. Now they need to roll that again. They need to roll high. They want to get a first down here. It's completed pass for Bradshaw on 3rd down, 53. 7 plus 1, 8 yards. Is that enough? 5, 6, 7, 8, 4th and 1. And they will punt again Chuck Noll can trust his defense to make a play. 10, 20, 30, and the Raiders will fill the ball to 35, and we will not try to kick this, return this for a touchdown, as I want to drive from here, 65 yards. Come on, Raiders, let's get going here. It's going to be run versus balance, 26. Raiders, run versus balance. 26 is 4 yards. We'll take that. Up to the 39, second down and 6. Raiders, pass versus balance. 21 is a bad roll. So they're in a balance, so we're passing on the D chart. And I rolled a 21. That is picked off. There it is. There's the mistake. Stabler intercepted. Coverage interception by a 4. That's White. White with an interception, and the return coverage interception. And again, they have a so they want to roll a 1. That's a 30. That'd be a 35-yard return, and almost put them in the end zone. 5. No, they're going to return this. 12 yards back. So 10, 11, 12. So they're at the 49. So they pick it off deep downfield, return it to the 49, their own 49. But there it is, folks. That was what Noll said. Just hang in there, guys. The Raiders will make a mistake, and there it is. The Raiders did just that. Now they got to find a way to get something out of Terry Bradshaw in this Steelers offense to at least make this a ball game. But Chuck Noll never smiles, but you know he's thinking to himself, that's what I was talking about. Our defense will make plays. And here it is. It's going to be a run versus pass. The Raiders expecting a pass. 51 is going to be a run for 1 yard. Man, we are killing Franco Harris, Fuqua, and Pearson. Second down and long. It's going to be run versus balance. 23. 23 is a run for 1, -1, nowhere. Third down. They cannot run against this Raiders defense. And, it should be pass versus pass here. 56 is complete. They need to roll high again. 55 is going to be complete for 9 + 1, 10 and a first. Terry Bradshaw on a quick pass out to McMacken for a first down on a turnaround at the sticks. And the Steelers, the Raider fans, getting nervous as Terry Bradshaw throws a strike. It's going to be pass versus pass. Raiders and Steelers on the same page. This is a killer. 36, I think, is complete, though, for Terry on the F charts. 36, complete along the sidelines to Shanklin. Can Shanklin do something with it? 66 on the F chart, 17, 18 yards. Remember, the F charts, you can't go long. So this is what's wrong with the Raiders. We're not in the right D. It would have been a long gain for Terry Bradshaw, but because the Raiders were in the right D, 17 + 1, 18 yards, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. Terry Bradshaw gets them down to the 22, and the Raider faithful now getting loud as they do not want to see Steelers in the end zone. It's going to be run versus pass. Raiders expect a play-action pass as the Steelers line up in a formation that cues the Raiders they like to play action, but no, Bradshaw hands it off to Franco. Raiders in the wrong run defense, and it's a handoff to Franco for 61. It's going to be 2 -1, 1 yard for Franco Harris. Second and 9. It's going to be run versus pass. Raiders are giving them room to run, knowing they can't get it done against this front seven. Nowhere. 3rd and 10. Pass versus pass. As both teams know what's coming now, as Bradshaw now is going to take a shot before they kick a field goal. It's complete. Terry Bradshaw, Mr. Clutch here from the 21. He wants to roll high, period. 42. It's going to be a catch for 4 + 1, 5 yards, not enough. 4th down and 4. They are not going to risk it. They're going to kick the field goal from the 16, which I think is automatic. From the 16 is automatic, folks. Gorilla with a 23-yard field goal. Folks, it's 3-6. Points off turnover, and there it is. Chuck Noll told him at halftime, just keep playing your football. We're going to be fine. The Raiders return it out to the 27, have a chance to take this back to the house, and we're going to roll it. 66 is a touchdown. Nope. First down and 10 at the 27. Raiders go to work. It's going to be run versus pass. Raiders get the B charts because the Steelers are expecting us to pass. 35. 35 is a carry for 3 yards. 1, 2, 3, up to the 30. The Raiders pounding the rock with Hubbard, Smith, and Davis. The Raiders are going to run versus balance. 46. 46 is 7 more for the Raiders. 5, 6, 7, and a first down as they pitch it to Davis. Davis squeezes around those linebackers and is pushed out of bounds 7 yards downfield past the sticks. First down, the Raiders moving. It's going to be run versus pass. Raiders got him 42, 2 yards. As the Raiders are patient, pounding the rock. Steelers can't run, so you don't really want the Steelers to be patient. It's going to be a pass versus run. So this time the Raiders catch him in a play action. 46, I happen to know, is complete. And the Raiders are throwing on the F chart. Come on, baby. It's going to be... Oh, wait, no, the Raiders are on the F chart. 45. So the Raiders complete this. 45 is 9 yards plus one, 10 yards. First down for the Raiders at the 49. At their own 49, the Raiders now with 2 first downs on this drive. They're looking good. It's going to be run versus pass. Raiders catch them in the wrong defense. 53 is a pound for 4 yards, baby. 2nd and 6. It's going to be pass versus balance. Raiders caught him. 34 might be complete on the D chart. 34 is complete, barely in the flat to Davis. Come on, Davis. 36. He's going to go for 10 plus 1, 11. Down to the 36. The Raiders, after giving up a drive to the Steelers, have gone to work. They've settled down, and Ken Stabler's converted his 2nd first down pass on this drive. Pass versus run. Stabler has got them guessing the perfect play calls as the field general. Stabler setting them up. Play action pass complete for 53 for another 8 yards for the Raiders. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 2nd and 2. The Raiders will roll, and the Steelers will roll. Run versus run. 36 on the D charts. 36 is a run for 5 and the first down. The Raiders down to the 23. Remember, the Raiders have a slight edge in every category, especially on the run charts. It's going to be run versus balanced. 13. Nowhere. 2nd down and 9. There's where the Steelers tighten up this bend but don't break defense. Run versus pass. Steelers expect Stabler to put the ball in the air. He does not. 15 on the B chart is 2 yards. 1, 2. That's a matter of Chuck Noll saying, let them run here. They want to take it. 3rd down and long. We're going to roll because the Raiders might be playing for that field goal to keep it a 2-possession lead. And indeed they are. The Raiders and the Steelers backpedal into pass defense to play it safe. Very smart. We're looking at the 24 on the B charts. 24 is going to be a run for 2. 1, 2. And that's going to put the Raiders in the 19 field position. And the Raiders can kick this automatic. So there it is, Blanda with a 26-yard field goal, automatic. It is 3-9. The Raiders keep it a 2-possession game. Well, technically, a 1-possession game. If the Steelers score a touchdown, they would take a lead. All right, Steelers get the final possession of the 3rd quarter. This has been the dogfight I thought it would be, as the Steelers will probably be the hardest team to face. Well, the Dolphins. If we face the Dolphins in the playoffs, they will be the hardest team to face. The Steelers, definitely the 2nd toughest team we're going to face. The Steelers aren't scary on offense, but they weren't. Not yet, anyway. They weren't scary in the early 70s. Once Terry Bradshaw and Stallworth and Swan got there, things started to change for this offense later in the decade. The Raiders had the clearly better offense, but the defense, for both these teams in particular, so good. All right, Steelers have the ball to 22. Final drive of the 3rd quarter. They're down by 6. It is 9-3. Raiders hanging on. Bradshaw hands it off against the pass defense. Very nice. They're looking at C. So Franco Harris finally has room on 35. Franco's going to bust this out for 2 yards. 1, 2. Not good, man. That -1 point of attack is killing the Steelers. The Raiders front 7 controlling the line of scrimmage. That's what that means. 2nd down. Run versus balanced. 14 is going to be a run for a loss of 1. 3rd down, they have no choice. They got to go to the air. Pass versus pass. Terry Bradshaw, although, I mean, the Raiders have just taken the run game away. 44 might be complete for him on the F chart. Complete, barely, right in the middle of the field. This is going to be McMacken. McMacken in the middle of the field for 64 is going to be 11 in the first. 10-11. Terry Bradshaw finds McMacken on a quick, skinny post, right smack in the middle of the field for the first. And Atkinson runs up and pops him, but not before he gets the first. Terry Bradshaw has been the man in this 3rd quarter. It's going to be pass versus balance. 36 is completed, I think, because we're in a balance. We look at D. 36 complete right down the middle of the sideline. And it's going to be Shanklin, or Shamklin, I don't know how you pronounce that. 23, it's a catch for 5 yards on a quick sideline route to Shanklin. Pass versus pass, 43 on the F chart's probably going to be incomplete. 43, yep, incomplete. 3rd down and 5. They're going to pass. They got to pass versus the Raiders' pass defense. Their running game is just producing 2 yards a carry. It's not worth it. So they're going to pass. They need high roll. 22 is going to be bad for them. 22 is sack. Terry Bradshaw finally goes down for a loss of 7. 5, 6, 7. 4th down. We're going to see a sack from Toms. So Toms is going to record a sack for the Raiders. Beautiful. And they're going to have to punt. 10, 20, 34. Down to the 34-yard line. The Raiders will attempt to return this for a touchdown. And we will not get it, but they will punt. That'll wrap up the quarter. Pittsburgh 3, Raiders 3 in that quarter. It is 9-3. Raiders winning in the 4th quarter. And here it is, folks. We start the 4th quarter. Raiders get the ball first. And they are up by 6 points in a dogfight. 1973 dogfight between the two best defenses in the AFC. Well, the Raiders on paper might not be. Well, they must be. AAA versus AAA. They must be in the top echelon. 54. It's going to be run versus run. Raiders running on a 54 is going to be decent gain for the Raiders. They're in the right defense. The Raiders are on the D chart. 54 is going to be a run for 4 yards, or 5 yards. 2nd down. So it's a big deal to not have that negative point of attack roll for the Raiders. 54 is 5 yards, and that negative would kill Pittsburgh. That -1 is a big deal. Run versus balance. So Pittsburgh's not committing to either side of the ball. 43 for the Raiders. It's going to be another run for 2 yards. 3rd down and 1, 2, 3. 3rd and 3. Raiders will roll. It's going to be pass versus pass. 34. This is going to be close on the F charts for the Raiders. 34 is complete barely on the very sideline to the tight end Moore, who ran out a quick waggle right to the edge. Can he turn it into a 1st down? 45. He does. It's going to be a catch for 10 yards and a 1st. So he throws a quick waggle to the sideline, and Bob Moore catches it and turns it downfield for the 1st down. The Raiders are the difference here is Stabler's been able to convert 3rd downs. Run versus run. D chart, 43. It's going to be a run for 2 yards. So this is Parallax football using automated offense and defensive play calling, and it's just been perfect. Here we go. 2nd down and 8, and the Raiders going to be run versus run again. 65, though. The Raiders are going to plow ahead for 65, 6 yards. 5, 6. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Raiders. And we're going to run versus run. I'm going to assume both teams know what's coming. Run versus run. Raiders on the D chart. We need to roll high. 16 is going to be 2 and a 1st, baby. 1, 2. The Raiders, they bring out the sticks. They measure. The crowd roars as the referee signals 1st down. And the Oakland fans on their feet and roar because they're now in field goal range for the start of the 4th quarter. Stabler's going to pass versus balance. 15. Not good. D chart, 15. Incomplete. 2nd down. He takes a shot down the sideline to Branch, and nobody home. Man, what a game. It's going to be run versus run, 62. Raiders run on the D chart thanks to the defense. 62 is 4 yards, though. That's the difference between the Raiders and the Steelers. There's that yard here and that yard there. Here we go. And the Raiders, of course, on the C chart. It's going to be run versus run, 46 on the D chart now. 46 is 6 and a 1st down, 5, 6. And Marv Hubbard on the left side, they plow, grinds his legs. Finally, they whistle him dead as his momentum stops, and they signal 1st down, and the crowd roars as the Raiders are doing it with a running game and defense. It's going to be run versus balanced, 23 on the C chart, 1 yard for Davis around the end. He cannot get around those linebackers. Pass versus balance, 45 is complete. I know that. Completion for the Raiders, 56. Going to be a catch for 12 plus 1, 13. 10, 11, 12, 13 to Bolitnikoff down to the 15-yard line. The Raider fans roar as Stabler's threatening to get a fourth quarter touchdown. Run versus run, 12. Oh no, that almost is a fumble. Nowhere, second down. The Raiders almost fumbled that ball away. Shit, second and 10. Run versus pass. Raiders get a bonus. 65. They're on the wrong D. 7 yards. 5, 6, 7. Third and 3. Third and 1, 2, get 3. And the Raiders will run. It's going to be run versus run, right? The Raiders, they know here they can kick a field goal. And that literally puts Pittsburgh in a 2-possession game in the fourth. We're not going to risk a pass. We're going to run the ball on the D chart. Can the Raiders convert? 15 on the D chart is a run for 1. They hammer him short. Fourth down, but we kick an automatic field goal here. That's why we did it, playing safe football. 7 and 7 is a 14-yard field goal, folks. That's 3 to 12. The Raiders winning on 4 Blanda kicks. The Steelers return it out to the 22. Fourth quarter, they're down by 2 possessions now. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have to, at this point, we almost have to throw out. The Steelers only have 2 possessions, and they're down by 2 possessions. So we're going to have to throw out the idea that we're going to run with this team, and we'll put the Raiders in balanced, and they'll be in a pass. So they're going to pass the ball here. Now, Terry Bradshaw, this is it. This is his only chance is to throw the ball down the field. 32, he drops back, incomplete. Second down, he looks for Shanklin down the sideline. Second down and 10, drops back. 31 is going to be a sack. No, Bradshaw goes down for loss of 8, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The sack comes by. It's Toms with his second. He also had a sack last week, 2 sacks last week. It is third and long. Again, pass versus pass now. As they're on the F charts, they need Stabler to roll high. 44 is going to be complete. He finds his man, Mackin, in the middle of the field for 26. It's a catch for 7 plus 1, 8, not enough. 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's 4th and 10. They need 2 scores to win to win the game. They're going to have to go for it. 4th down. This is a do or die. Pass versus pass. Can Bradshaw convert the 4th down? 33 on an F chart. I think is incomplete. 33 is incomplete. Turnover on down. Steelers had no choice. That was they only have 1 possession left. Raiders take over right there. And the Raiders will run versus run from here on out. There will be no passes by Stabler and company. So it's going to be the D chart since the Raiders just try to pound the rock and kick another field goal if we have to. 36. 36 is a run for 5. Boy, you roll those 6s on a run, you're going to get some yardage, generally. 26 for the Raiders. It's going to be another run of 4. Wow, we're pounding it with Hubbard, Smith, and Davis. 3rd and 1. The Raiders, 13. Could be a 0. Pow! Hammered! They hand it to Hubbard, and the front 7 of the Steelers get help from their secondary. 9 men in the box. Bury that. And Blanda will kick a guaranteed field goal from here. 20-yard field goal. And Blanda is the hero of the hour. It is 15-3. The Steelers return it to the 22. And again, it's going to be pass versus pass for the remainder of the day. As the Raiders know what Bradshaw's up to. 45 is complete. He's looking for McMackin. It's complete for 52. 5, 6 yards. 5, 6. Second down and 4. Pass versus pass. Again. And it is 53. Might be complete. I don't know. 53. Incomplete. 3rd down and 4. Can Bradshaw get a completion? 45. Complete again to McMackin. Underneath. Can he convert? 64. He sure can for 11 yards. 10-11. And there's Bradshaw on a 3rd down. Finding room. He passes. 24 is going to be incomplete. I'm pretty sure on the F charts. Ooh, barely. As it's just out of reach of Frenchie Fuqua. It's going to be 61. Ooh, not good. Incomplete. 3rd down and 10. Bradshaw drops back, looking deep. 42. Incomplete. 4th down. This is it, folks. The game. Can Bradshaw complete it? 32. Incomplete. Game over. Turnover on downs. The Raiders will kneel and kill clock. That's it, folks. Game over. Raiders remain undefeated with Stabler's rookies, or not rookie, he's not a rookie, his first year as a starter. The Raiders get 2 field goals? Oh, yeah, 6. So 3 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Pittsburgh falls to 7-2. The Raiders climb to 7-2. And the unbelievable game here, somehow, some way, the Steeler defense would not relinquish the touchdown. But the Raiders had 2 deep drives deep enough drives to have automatic field goal chip shots for Blanda. Blanda started with a big field goal attempt. No good. That was a 48-yarder, by the way. It was no good. So he started the game with a long kick that fell. We picked off Bradshaw, and then on a short field, Blanda made the kick, made it 3-0. Pittsburgh punts early in the second. Blanda makes a long 49-yard field goal to make it 0-6 Raiders, and then a series of punts wraps up the first half. Pittsburgh, coming out of the tunnel after Chuck Noll's calm demeanor, they have to punt. Stabler, though, is picked off by White. As Noll predicted, the Raiders might make mistakes, and that leads to a automatic field goal by Jarella. It's 6-3 Raiders, and Blanda. The Raiders then get a nice deep drive down the field. Blanda makes it 9-3. Pittsburgh has to punt. Blanda then, after a brilliant deep drive, the Raiders go for it on third down, running the ball, more than prepared to settle for a field goal. That would give them, that would put Pittsburgh in a 2-possession game with only 2 possessions remaining. Therefore, Pittsburgh has no choice, but on 4th and long, go for it, they fail. The Raiders then kick an automatic field goal, puts the game out of reach. Pittsburgh, on the final play of the game, goes for that Hail Mary roll, doesn't get it, and then the Raiders kneel and kill clock, and the Raiders will find a way to win 15-13 in a dogfight. I predicted this would be tough, and sure enough, that is how it's worked out. And the Raiders, though, remain undefeated in this run. The Raiders will win this one 15-3. Terry Bradshaw doesn't have Stallworth and Swanee yet, so I think that's a big effect. And they don't have Rocky Blair yet, or they may have them, but they weren't in the player allocations ratings. So remember, I take these player allocations off of Rodney's historical allocation charts. Stabler in this game does nothing. So Stabler did not throw a pick. Oh yeah, he did. Stabler's picked off. Whoops. Stabler had another INT in this one, but did not throw a touchdown. But that doesn't matter. The Raiders find a way. The big killer, truly, the absolute killer for Pittsburgh in this game was they were averaging about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards a carry. You're not going to, without turnovers, it's going to be difficult for a team that runs the ball 1-4 on a D6 when you're averaging only 1.75 yards, 2.2 yards a carry. The Raiders are going to find a way. And they did. And the Steelers managed to not turn it over but one time. And the Raiders converted that. Bradshaw threw a pick in the first quarter. That's how the Raiders got their first score of the game. Stabler threw a pick in the third quarter, and that's how the Steelers got their first score of the game. So both quarterbacks threw a pick that led to field goals. Blanda is the man of the hour, kicking 5 field goals against the stingy Steelers. Thank you for watching. This has been Parallax Football Complete. Rules as written using the automated offense-defense die rolls, the D66. The difference is we use the static point of attack rule. So that way I don't have to roll a point of attack roll. So what would have also varied this for the Steelers is a varied point of attack roll might give the Steelers a +1 here and there. The problem is the Steelers are rated so poorly, they also might hit -2s. So the running game for the Steelers would have been more variable at the point of attack, but it could have led to actually worse rushing numbers for the Steelers on many plays. So if they're locked at a -1, so if you run the ball 30, so to give people an idea of what a +1 or -1 means in a static situation, if the Steelers run the ball 42 times, that's -42 yards off their total numbers they could have had in the game. If the Raiders with a +1 run 42 times, they're going to get a minimum of 42 yards added to their run games. So you have to look at static numbers like -1s and +1s as literally the number of carries you get. You're either going to get that in plus yardage or you're going to lose that in negative yardage. So it's definitely going to be a more representative of very stingy defenses against the run, right? Or dominant running teams like the Miami Dolphins, for instance, might be a +1 against most opponents. It might even be a +2 against opponents. So the Dolphins would be adding 2 to every single run. So in 30 runs, that's 60 yards just alone in their offensive line making room, right? So like the 72 Dolphins most likely will have bonuses. Now, if you use the variable chart, obviously there's a chance the Dolphins could get a +2 or a -1 or whatever, right? So the variable chart just is more, it's just going to be more dynamic, like a real life football game. Sometimes you open a hole, sometimes you don't, right? Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.